So, good morning and welcome to this demo version of a Savate training. Firstly, we will start with some warm up with some joint movement and stretching. So, we have finished our demo version of a warm up, and now we can turn to the second part, namely, we're going to start with some movement, with some bouncing, with some blocks, escapes, and punches. And in general, the footwork and the hand techniques, the punches in Savate are equivalent to those in boxing and kickboxing. The same is true for the other parts, namely for the um, blocks. So, in this extension of the warm up, we are going to have a quick round of boxing with the corresponding punches and footwork and some blocks without further explanation as I have just said. So let's start. So that was our second and final part of the warm up. We have bounced a little bit. Our heart rate is a little bit higher. So we're ready to start with the foot techniques. And in Sabbat, as you see, we're wearing shoes. We have otherwise the usual protection, as well, of course, the boxing gloves. Some things are important. There are no elbow strikes in Sabbat. There are no knee strikes. And blocking with some part of the feet, for example, is not allowed. So when we have an opponent strike uh, to the knee or to the thigh, we have to escape. But we're going to talk about this also a little bit later. Firstly, the following. So we differentiate in Sabbat between two positions, frontal and lateral. So uh, and almost all kicks have this variety. So we are firstly going to start with chassé. This is a kick with the heel, and there are two variations, as I have said, lateral and frontal. So let's go to the usual Sabbat posture with this defensive line here. And this is the chassé strike, the lateral variation, and we differentiate between two other variations. So it's either arrière with the hind leg or avant with the front leg. So this was chassé lateral avant, bas, because it's low. Bas is low, median is middle, and figure is high. And the other variation for chassé is namely the frontal one, turning the hips towards the opponent, the knee high, and just simply towards the front. So chassé, in that case, chassé, arrière, frontal, bas. So this was the chassé kick. We have also a revers in Sabbat, the frontal variation is just a semicircle, mostly to the opponent's head, but it can be low, aiming and some kind of this part. So this is the revier with the hind leg, or if it's figure, simply this kind of motion. And the other variation of revier, that's the lateral one. In that case, we do this. So that was with the front leg or with the hind leg, simply the knee high and towards the opponent, and then this slipping motion from the center line to the outside. So that was the other possibility for a reverse. And as to the reverse, in the first case, we are throwing the kick with this part of our shoe, with the outside edge of the shoe. And in the second variation of the reverse, we are dealing with this uh, front lower part of the shoe. And now we are going to shortly discuss and show two very typical kicks for savate. The first one is fouetté with the front point of the shoe. In this case, there are no variations between frontal and lateral. A frontal fouetté in this kind of motion, or in this kind of motion, is not allowed in savate. So we have just the other variation, very similar probably to a roundhouse kick, but nevertheless very different, because we have a whipping motion of the kick, and as we have said, the kick itself is with that front part with the point of the shoe. So let's show it once again in our position. So bas, median, and we want to see it from the side, for example. Here is the probably from that edge. Here is fouetté, and once again fouetté. And if we're going to do it with the hind leg, so that was the first one was fouetté avant, and now we have fouetté arrière or median. So, and finally, a very typical savate kick, coup de pied bas or coup pied de bas. It's with the inner part of the shoe, with the inner edge of the shoe, aiming towards opponent's shin. There are at least four variations of this kick. We are going to show now and discuss just the most popular one. So, and this is this one. The leg is straight. This kick is only low, aiming at opponent's shin or area just below the ankle, just above the ankle, excuse me. So this is it. Straight and short motion. So this is very typical of savate, and as we have said, we are not allowed to block with our shin or with our thigh. So kicks aimed at the leg should be escaped. And in the case of coup pied de mat, we have the following possibilities for escape: either the leg upwards, or just a short step to the back, or just this one. This movement that would be pretty enough to escape a coup pied de mat. So these were all the major kicks in savate. As we have said, in the case of revers and chassé, two opportunities, frontal and lateral. In the case of fouetté and coup pied de mat, there are no such variations. Three levels: figure, médiane, bas, possible and allowed for all kicks except for coup pied de mat, which is just low. And the two other opportunities with the front arm and leg, avant, and arrière with the hind arm or leg. So, just a small addition about the footwork. So we have two other possibilities in savate to change the angle, and this is again something very typical for savate. Not just this frontal position, but changing the angle and attacking, let's say, diagonally from the side. So they are called décalage and débordement. The one opportunities is to make just a step to the side and then to have a kick, for example. And the other opportunity is to have the whole, so to say, change of direction with one step, second step, and then, for example, the kick, and then an escape. So we are going to put now all of this, or at least almost all of this demo version in a combination. So bouncing, as in real sparring, we are going to start with a block, then with a counter attack, then we're going to change the line, and then we're going to escape and restore our position. So that would be, once again, a block to the head, then direct, avant, direct, arrière, then chassé, frontal, arrière, bas, then step to the side, décalage, fouetté, low or médiane, step to the back, and chassé, lateral. So that would be it. So let's train it uh, for a minute, let's say. So So that was our short combination for today, and now we can cool down, stretch a little bit. Let's do it. Of course, there is the opportunity for a variety of other combinations, for a variety of exercises on footwork, stretching, etc., which of course are going to be covered in in the real trainings. So thank you for your attention. Salute and goodbye.